So good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Happy weekend. Nobody's happy on the weekends.
It was very busy weeks and busy weekends as well.
Why?
So classes, because of classes is going offline and all the things last semester. So it's very hectic.
Okay. So bear with few more weeks. Then you'll be free. You'll get rid of us. You'll be happy. Harsh. Thank God it's over.
No, sir, it's not like that.
Devansh is back after long vacation.
Yes, sir. Sorry about not joining the classes.
So you enjoyed that, right?
No, sir.
You're saying yes.
Network is
Okay. So कहाँ से शुरू करें? How many acts we covered so far?
Sir, Employees Compensation Act or Factory Act?
Okay. So कुछ काम दिया था? हाँ ना?
Yes, sir.
क्या दिया था?
Sir, an assignment on disablement and its types.
Okay. So who has the... Yeah, Anamika.
Also on the factories rules in like our states.
Okay. So can you quickly see that both of them? The types of disablement. Anyone can quickly share? कुछ बनाया है, लिखा है? Anything on that if anyone has it? No?
Sir, may I
Haji?
share?
Yeah, please. Please. Okay, did you see the rules?
Yes, sir.
You saw that. Okay. Bushra is neutral. देखा भी नहीं भी देखा, हाँ भी नहीं बोलना, ना भी नहीं बोलना, कुछ नहीं.
I didn't do.
Didn't do. Okay. क्यों?
Sir, actually, I was busy with this week in offline classes and assignment and all, with the college only.
Okay. Prachi,
Yes, sir.
you saw that rules and anything?
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah.
Okay. We'll see that. लोग कनेक्ट कम होते हैं, डिस्कनेक्ट ज्यादा हो जाते हैं. Okay, so I think Adiricha is having some issues with connectivity. So who will share Aditya, will you share something or?
Yes, sir, but I'm unable to share. I don't know.
I have given the access, so just check. Or you may share it with someone, and then Srishti or Anamika or she can, anyone can share it. Okay. Meanwhile, someone would like to say something on the Factories Act specific state rule. Anamika, Shakti, Prachi.
I have prepared the presentation. Shall I share?
Yeah, please. Aditya, you may also share the presentation with either Anamika or Srishti or someone. Okay, if the connectivity is a concern. So they'll share and then you can speak. Good evening, Hima. Long time no see.
Good evening, sir.
महाराष्ट्र कहाँ पहुंच गया ना मेरे यूपी से
I was looking for my own state, but the document which I got had only license rules, so I thought of shifting.
ओके तो बाबा जी आने वाले तो हम लोग बोले महाराष्ट्र चलो ऐसे ओके या प्लीज गो अहेड
Shall I read this?
No, you want me to read this?
Sorry.
You
So
can,
the fact.
you can brief what it is, if you know. If you want me to read, I'll read.
No, I can read it.
You can
The
explain
fact
whatever
is-
is written, right?
So the Factories Act was originally initiated or started because there was a lot, like the condition of the workers inside the factory was miserable. So the Factories Act came into the action so that they have a very healthy environment inside the organization, and they feel like working, providing them with all different kinds of facilities, which we will be looking into different chapters further. So the Factories Act, it started, it was this thing in 1948, and it is a social legislature which has been enacted for occupational safety, health, and welfare of the workers. So that to make the place more like a working environment. So I have divided this presentation into 8 chapters. The first is the preliminary one. Second is inspecting staff. Third is health. Fourth, safety. Then welfare, working hours for adults. Then employment of young persons, and then annual leave with wages. So chapter number 1 is preliminary. Here, all few like definitions, few keywords like jargons which are used in this whole in this whole act have been defined.
So no, they are not jargons. They are not jargons. Jargon is something that we use, in our communicative English. These are not jargons. These are the words which are used in this act. And what does these words say? What does these word mean? That has been defined. So they're not jargons. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So the first definition is, so the definitions in these rules, unless the context otherwise requires, act means by default the Factories Act. Artificial humidification, it means the introduction of moisture into the air into the air of a room by any artificial means whatsoever, except the unavoidable escape of steam or water vapor into the atmosphere directly due to a manufacturing process. So there are
Okay.
few words.
Now, in these definitions, are there any exclusive definitions which are not there in the Act?
Not in the Act, but we are using
Act.
it.
No. It is not in the Act, but are in the rules. You are reading rules, right? And these are rules, correct? So, are there any words which are not in the Act but are in the rules?
So this is the Act that is being explained. Na? Like these are the chapters and
This is
inside the
rule.
Act.
This is rule. Act we discussed. Rules are specific to the state. They'll give you specifications. Act says, adequate lighting, artificial humidification, right? Rule will define that, adequacy. Rule will define the space.
The specific number.
Yeah, rule will define how many urinals. Rule will define how many water junctions. Right? So therefore, this rule is to implement the act. तो मोटर व्हीकल एक्ट, आपको गाड़ी संभल के चलाना चाहिए, नहीं चलाएंगे तो पेनल्टीज होगी. Act will say this. Straight rule will define that, okay, at what offense what would be penalty. हेलमेट नहीं पहने तो कितना, सीट बेल्ट नहीं पहने तो कितना, खाली चश्मा पहन के चलाए तो कितना, चप्पल पहने तो कितना, है ना, ट्रिपल सीट गए तो कितना, रॉन्ग साइड चलाए तो कितना. So therefore, the question is for everybody that when we are seeing definitions, ऐसा कोई वर्ड है क्या जो एक्ट में नहीं था लेकिन इसमें है?
It is not in the Act, then I mean, how can the rule specify it? If the government does not make any law, then how can the state government like have any specifications to it?
Act says there has to be safe condition. Okay. Rule will say what safe means. Act says there has to be adequate humidification. Yeah, artificial humidification. But what could be that percentage? Act will define. Like the definition of belt, fume, then anything else like degrees or temperature, है ना? ये एक्ट में नहीं मिलेगा, एक्ट की डेफिनेशन में नहीं मिलेगा. If you open the Factories Act definition section 2, section 2 of Factories Act, or generally of all the acts, section 2 will have the definitions used in that particular act. Okay, so if you read that, most likely you will not get these words. Which one? Belt, degree, district magistrate, form, fume, health officer. All these definitions you will not get in the act. Okay. So rule will have more specifications. It will be more specific, more realistic for execution. Okay. So it is for everyone. Good evening, Vishaka.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ruchi. Good evening, Akriti. So,
Good evening, sir.
Therefore, I am saying that when at your leisure, whenever you get time, you won't get. I know you will have to. Okay, I know you all are very busy. So get some time and just see, what is the difference between rule and act. So which are the keywords which are there in the act but not in the rule, and what are the definitions in the rule but not in the act. Is it clear, Anamika?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead. So what we do is we'll need, no, I mean, you need not read the entire definition. Okay. But you can read the keywords, like what all things have been defined in definition section.
Okay, sir. Then shall I go to the next slide?
Yeah.
So chapter number 2, it talks about inspecting staff. Inspecting staff, he has the power to do all or any of the things which have been specified over here. Number
Correct.
1 is to photograph any worker. He can keep an eye on that person. He can act as a supervisor, like he can just supervise all the work which is being done or by the workers, and also he can, in case of the inspector who is duly qualified medical practitioner to carry such. Okay, also they have to take care of the medical health of the workers, and they have to keep an eye upon them, upon the, like, how healthy the worker is inside the organization. This is again the responsibility of the inspecting staff. He also has to he also has to inspect the workers with this regard also. In case to prosecute, conduct, or defend before a court any complaint or any other proceeding arising under the act, or in discharge of his duties as an inspector. Okay, so a fees of ₹10. Okay, so the inspector, he is supposed to, if in case he finds that something is wrong with this thing with the workers, or there's something which is not in favor of them, then he can like file a suit against the workers, or he can defend the workers also in that case. Chapter number 3 talks about the health again of the workers. So here this thing is the number is being mentioned, that to workrooms in which amount of cubic space allowed for every person employed in the room is less than 15 cubic meters. And this is in part A. Now part B, it specifies to workrooms in which the amount of cubic space allowed for every person employed in the room is less than 15 cubic meters, to engine houses, fitting shops, lunch rooms, canteens, shelters, crutches, etc. And all these stuff, they are supposed to be less than 6 meters above the floor stair.
So all these things you will not get in the act, right? Act will not have all these specific information. Act will talk about health condition, what measures should be taken. There should be sufficient space. Now what this sufficient means? Sufficient means all these things.
These numbers will be mentioned in the rule.
Yeah, these numbers are mentioned in the rule.
Chapter number 4 talks about the safety. So safety, all the workers working inside the organization, they need to be given some like safety equipment so that they can work upon the risky ones with a bit of safety. So all the openers, combined openers and scratches. Wait 1 second. All cylinder doors shall be secured by an automatic locking device, which shall prevent the door being opened until the cylinder ceases to revolve and shall render it possible to restart the machine. So there has to be some safeties over here. That the safety which they're talking about is the automatic locking door. Until and unless the cylinder has done its work, the door cannot open by the door cannot open by its own self. So once the work is done, only then the automatic door will open, so that people, they are safe, so that, the people, they are safe. Until the door is closed, no person under 18 years of age and no person who is not sufficiently trained to work under those conditions shall be employed as driver of lifting machine. So again, they have to take safety measures. So below 18 years, people are not allowed anyways. Also, those people who are not adequately trained to handle any an unfavorable situation should not enter this room. They should not enter this room.
Okay.
Chapter number 6. 1 second, sir. I forgot chapter number 5. Sorry.
Okay, it's okay, no worries.
Chapter number 6 it talks about the working hours. So in India, usually for a normal employee, it is like 8 hours. 8 hours ka shift. But
And for abnormal employees?
no, normally matlab usually people have like 8 hours ka shift. So compensatory holidays, except in case of workers engaged in any work which is for technical reason, must be carried out on continuously throughout the day. So this is an exception ki just in case there's such work which requires a lot of continuous like in and out of the workers. In that case, the workers have to be there like a whole day. Section 53 shall be so spaced that not more than 2 holidays are given in 1 week to the workers. And any compensatory holiday or holidays to which a worker is entitled shall be given to him before he is discharged or dismissed.
Seems it hang. Well,
I think she has disconnected.
sorry?
Sir, I think she has disconnected.
For some reason it might have gone disconnected.
Sir, there was a question.
Yeah.
So as you said that the act provides a blueprint and then the rule covers all the description about the act. So can we say that the central provides the act and then the state, according to their preferences, provide the rules to their citizens?
Correct. So Act will have the provision to create rules. In
Yes,
Act,
yes.
it would have been mentioned that appropriate government can frame the rules under certain sections. Okay, so state government can decide, the specifications as per that particular act. And it's not only state government, whatever is the appropriate government. So in Union Territory, perhaps the district magistrate, the lieutenant governor, whosoever is the appropriate government. Okay, when you read the acts, that time you'll study. There are certain words which are, they're also defined in the act. That what does it mean? So who can frame the rules? Not anybody. Chief Minister will not frame the rule. Okay. So in a particular state, who will frame the rules? So in that particular state, the appropriate government, the authorities defined as per the act can only frame the rules. Legislation can only endorse it. ठीक है? Yes, Anamika, कुछ कहना है?
I don't know what happened in between. I couldn't see you. Hello?
जोर से बोलो.
I couldn't see you. I mean, I don't know what happened.
No worries, no worries. Now you can see me?
Yes, now I can see you.
Okay, fine. So anything left in that presentation?
No, just one slide was left.
Okay,
So it was over almost.
done. Anyone else? Prachi, you had something?
Sir, I have also made a presentation, but I am unable to share it. So, if is it possible I share it to someone else? And
You can share with Srishti, you can share with Anamika, you can share with anyone.
okay. Yes.
And sir, Adhirija also shared her
Shared, na?
presentation. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so by the time Prachi is sharing the presentation to you, if you have the Adhirja's presentation, please share it.
Thank you, Di. Next slide. Disablement. Disablement means loss of capacity to work or to move. Disablement of workman may result in loss or reduction of his earning capacity. In later case, he is not able to earn as much as he used to earn before his disablement.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Next slide. Types of disablement. These are two types of disablement. One is total disablement and second is partial disablement. The next slide. Total disablement. A total disablement means disablement which entirely prevent an insured person from engaging in his or her usual occupation or any other occupation. The next slide. Sir, it means that
Hello, Adrija. जो भी प्रेजेंटेशन देता है हैंग क्यों हो जाता है? तो हैंग कौन हो गया, सृष्टि या अद्रिजा?
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. ओके, जब तक अद्रिजा की आवाज लौट के आती है तब तक तुम चालू कर सकती हो. You can read. If you understood, you can explain also. That's fine. You will not.
Okay, sir. Total disablement means such disablement which incapacitates an employee, whether of temporary or permanent nature, for all work which he was capable of performing at the time of accident. Total disablement kind of, you can say, paralyze the employee of doing all the work he was doing or he was able to do before the accident. Because of total disablement, this happened with the employees.
तो कोई एग्जांपल बता सकते हैं?
Yes, sir. If I give you, it can be a temporary or permanent. Like if a worker is working in a construction place and by some accident, उसके पैर या हाथ सब फ्रैक्चर हो जाते हैं, तो वो टोटल डिसेबलमेंट हो जाएगा, लेकिन टेम्परेरी, क्योंकि वो कुछ महीने तक के लिए वो कुछ भी काम नहीं कर सकता.
Perfect.
Types of total disablement. Permanent total disablement is a condition in which an individual is no longer able to work due to injuries. Yes, permanent by this word permanent, it's a permanent disablement. Any worker loses his hand or any finger, so it will be a permanent disablement, permanent total disablement. Example she has given: loss of both eyes, loss of both hands, loss of one hand or leg. Temporary total disablement, injuries that totally disable and prevent the insured insured person to attend to his or her normal duties in workplace that last temporary for a certain period. Yes, like I gave you the example of fracture, or the picture shows is as well. It's a temporary total disablement. The second disablement, or second type of disablement is partial disablement, which is divided into two types: permanent partial disablement, temporary partial disablement. Permanent disablement is said to be partial when it would be lead to loss of earning capacity. A person may only be able to work in a limited capacity forever. Like permanent partial disablement could be hearing loss or any finger loss. It can be a permanent partial disablement. That person will be able to do all the work, but his one finger will be lost for permanently.
कोई गाड़ी एक आपकी कंपनी में there is a vehicle, there is a driver, उस ड्राइवर का एक्सीडेंट हो गया, ठीक है, ओके, वो वर्कर्स को या स्टाफ को लेने जा रहा था, ऑन द वे ही मेट विद एन एक्सीडेंट, ठीक है, उस एक्सीडेंट में उसके कंधे की हड्डी फ्रैक्चर हो गई, ओके, तो नाउ what sort of disablement this will be?
It will be, sir, temporarily partial. No, sorry, sir, permanent partial disablement, because of that. मतलब उसके जो भी हड्डी में चोट आई है, उसकी वजह से वो कुछ और काम नहीं कर पाएगा, तो वो इट विल बी अ परमानेंट पार्शियल डिसेबलमेंट.
उसके कंधे की हड्डी में चोट लगी, 3 महीना वो बैठा रहा, ट्रीटमेंट हुआ, 4th मंथ से वापस वो गाड़ी चलाने लगा. What is this kind of disablement?
Temporary partial.
Temporary partial disablement. कंधे की हड्डी में चोट लगने की वजह से वो अब आगे कभी जिंदगी में गाड़ी नहीं चला सकता.
परमानेंट होगा.
परमानेंट टोटल.
परमानेंट टोटल या परमानेंट पार्शियल?
परमानेंट
टोटल या परमानेंट पार्शियल?
सर पार्शियल, बिकॉज़ ऑफ
परमानेंट पार्शियल.
के पास मतलब सही है इसलिए.
हाँ, इट विल बी परमानेंट पार्शियल डिसेबलमेंट. तो अभी क्या करेंगे, अब उसको बोलेंगे भाई ठीक है तू गाड़ी नहीं चला सकता है, कोई बात नहीं, तू कंपनी के अंदर बैठ के एडमिन का काम देख, है ना. तो दैट बिकम्स परमानेंट पार्शियल डिसेबलमेंट. ओके, नेक्स्ट. Understood?
So, but from driver's perspective, he would become like permanent this thing now, like permanently disabled now, because as a driver he won't be able to drive again.
Correct. So you cannot continue the same activity, but it is not that you can't continue any activity. दोनों पैर कट गए होते उसके, तो कुछ नहीं कर पाता, है ना?
Yes, sir.
But then it was an injury which was there for some time. He could recover. Only thing is he should not drive the car because of the safety reasons. So I employ him somewhere else, and I can consider it as a permanent but partial disablement. है ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Temporary partial disablements.
Yes, sir. Which means that which reduce the earning capacity of the workman in the employment in which he was engaged at the time of accident. Same with the fracture in right hand, 2 fingers, or fracture in right hand, he won't be able to do any work with right hand, but he still will be able to work with left hand or any other activities related to it.
अगर वो लेफ्टी है तो?
So it won't
This question
be.
will come.
Sorry?
I knew that you will say this question. The moment I saw right hand finger, then I knew you'll ask left hand.
Or assume that there is a fracture in the left hand. What sort of disablement this can be?
It will be the temporary partial disablement. This one.
But then he's not using his left hand for the work.
So, but then he is, he's losing one of his physical features, no matter if he is using that in work or not.
Because of this injury, his efficiency in the work would decrease. So, I mean,
so I can call it as temporary partial disablement. And a fracture in any hand can be temporary partial disablement.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fracture in his working hand.
Sir, if
might
it's get
not be able to
better,
work.
sir, if it's get better in the span of time, then it is temporary
Both
partial.
the cases 3 months.
It's temporary because he might not be able to work in that domain of work, but he can be employed in some other work.
So it is permanent total disablement?
No. Temporary partial disablement.
See, the question is, okay, you can write, you can think at your own time, okay, discuss with any other, intellectual people. So the question is, number one, the condition, in a case is fracture in either hand and plaster for 3 months. That is scenario 1. Scenario 2 is fracture in working hand, plaster 3 months. You can keep these both the cases, think about it.
सर इसमें परमानेंट और पार्शियल बताना है.
हाँ, इसमें क्या हो सकता है, क्या परमानेंट पार्शियल हो सकता है, टेम्पररी पार्शियल हो सकता है, किस तरह का कॉम्बिनेशन वर्क करेगा या किस तरह का कॉम्बिनेशन आपको कंसिडर करना चाहिए. किसी वर्कर का एक हाथ दाहिने हाथ का टूट गया, 3 महीना प्लास्टर है, उसने आपको केस कर दिया, मेरे को कंपनसेशन मिलना चाहिए अंडर टेम्पररी परमानेंट डिसेबलमेंट. Will you endorse it or you will reject it? Think about it. Okay, next.
Sir, it depends on the percentage of injury.
Think about it. Let us know. And see, case is same. Case is there is a fracture. There is a fracture in hand. So if the fracture in either hand, plaster for 3 months. Fracture in working hand, plaster for 3 months. So nature of injury is same in both the cases. Only thing is the hand is different. Right? Think about it. No hurry, not now only. Just think. And if you can find something about it. Right? Okay, next. Thank you.
Sir.
Okay, good. Okay. Anyone on the rules?
Just a minute, sir. Prachi has also shared her presentation.
Okay.
So, okay.
Yeah, Prachi is in the rules, na? Correct.
The second is factory. Okay, she has done both factory rules of the state, Bihar, and the one is open right now. So which one should I share?
You go to third slide of this particular presentation which is showing here.
Okay, sir.
Slide number 3.
No. Just a minute, I've opened a lot. Okay.
Yeah, just give the slideshow. Yeah, Prachi, can you quickly explain this particular slide only?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we learned about the Workmen's Compensation Act. We learned about 4 types of disablement as per the act,
Right.
and the 4 of them are in the presentation also. The first
Right.
one I have written is temporary partial disablement,
Hmm.
in which if a person get if a person get his hand fractured, either of the hand, so and so his or her reduction of earning capacity in respect of only that employment in which she was engaged. So
Right.
this is called temporary partial disablement. Then second one is permanent partial disablement, in which reduction of earning capacity in not only in the employment one was engaged, but also in all other employment as well. Example, loss of hearing in left ear. Schedule 1, Part 2 of the Act provides list of injuries deemed to result in permanent partial disablement.
Oh.
Then the third one is temporary total disablement, in which the earning capacity of an employee is lost for a temporary period. Example, heart attack, which led to 2 months of bed rest or paralysis. Then the fourth one is permanent total disablement, in which one is incapacitates the employee for all the work he or she is capable of doing permanently. Example, loss of sight of both the eyes. Schedule first, Part 1 of this act gives the list of injuries deemed to result in permanent total disablement. That's it, sir.
Great, great. So you should have an understanding what is permanent total, permanent partial, right? Because in future you may
Yes,
have
sir.
certain claims where you have to distinguish between what is what. And what is the amount in case of a death? What is the compensation amount, maximum amount? What is
there is
maximum
a
compensation amount in case of death?
So 50%.
So 50%
into relevant factors, or 1,20,000 rupees, whichever is high.
1,20,000, 1,20,000 नहीं. हाँ बेचारे का कितना और तुमने नुकसान कर दिया. Okay, in case of permanent total disablement,
the 60% of the salary.
60% of the
monthly salary into relevant factors.
अच्छा monthly salary है, monthly wage है.
Sir, it's monthly wage.
You should be clear with the words. Monthly wages. Or 1.44 lakhs, right? Yeah, 1,40,000.
Sir, 1,40,000.
1,40,000.
Okay, great. So you should, I mean, you get certain ideas about it, right? Correct? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you're also clear about the factory's rules. Yes, what the Bihar rule says. Slide 2.
Sir, it is not that descriptive as I haven't got that much information about it. So,
Okay.
So the Factories Act was enacted in 1949, and it was an act of 1948. And Bihar Factories Act was enacted in 1950. And the government of Bihar, following the steps of the Factories Act in 1948, provided an act to be followed in the state of Bihar, that is Bihar Factories Act. Amendment took place in this act from time to time. The recent amendment took place in the year 2020. In that amendment, the act is applicable to Bihar, and in that amendment, empowered the state government to exempt any new factory or such class of description which are established and commercial production begin from all or any provisions of this act for the period of 1,000 days. since the date of commencement. So, according to this amendment, all the new factories have that should not supposed to follow this act, or is not it is not compulsory for them to follow this act for the period of 1,000 days. And the purpose for this was that to create more economic activities and to generate more employment opportunities for them. And
Okay.
next slide. So, sir, in this slide, it was basically talking about the whole process, how that chief inspector used to do the work in. They just they come and conduct visits in the factories from time to time, hold discussion with the employees and the workers, and they validate their documents and records. And if any non-compliance is found, they give them a show cause notice to provide them necessary documents within the prescribed timeline. And if the documents are not adequate, a report would be prepared and chief inspector would review it, and the case would be forwarded to prosecution under the chief judicial magistrate.
Okay.
That's it, sir.
Great.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, why the term salary is used in time of death and wage in time of permanent disability?
Sorry, come again.
So my question is, why the term salary is used in time of death and why the term wage is used in permanent total disability?
In the act?
Sir, workman compensation.
In the act it is mentioned?
No, sir, just I said, no, when I said 60% of the monthly salary include relevant factors.
No, there is no word called salary. It is wage. It is wage for all the cases.
In time of death also.
Yeah. The word used is wage. Yeah. You can refer the act again. Which section speaks about it?
Sir, about what?
कौन से सेक्शन में लिखा है compensation values?
3.
Section 3.
Yes, sir.
Section 4.
So whatever section, 3 or 4, you can just check that, right? So in that section, it would have been written wage, not the word salary.
Okay, sir.
Correct? Okay. So who had shared this? Bihar ka? Adiri Chana?
So Prachi.
Prachi. Okay. Prachi, there are around 250 page Bihar rule. The rule itself is as big as your factories act. I'm just sharing it for your information and for everybody's knowledge. Okay, it is as big as the act. Almost act can be replicated in the rule. You can see this. Okay, this is how the act is, which talks about your factory license, appointment of surgeon, qualification, power conferred to inspectors, okay, and everything.
So
Right.
from where are you getting? I didn't get my Jharkhand ka Factories Act.
Not
Yes,
necessarily
sir, I'm
every
also.
not necessarily every state will have it. Okay, you have to search for the Factories Act Bihar rule, or the Factories Act Jharkhand rule.
Sir, at that time, the Jharkhand was part of Bihar only.
No, when the Jharkhand state came into existence, did they have a separate rule, or do they have a separate rule now? Okay, so you can check because when you will be working, you will be you will be requiring these rules. So first and foremost, you will have to know that whether these rules exist. What all act can have the rules, and if that rule is there in the state, then in accordance with the act, you have to refer the rules as well. है ना? Because rule will have all the mentions. कौन सा register बनाना है, कौन सा form है, क्या format होगा, कितने forms भरने हैं, किस section के अंदर आपको return file करना है, वो सब rule में लिखा होगा. Okay. So in almost all the acts, there will be a state specific rules. नहीं होंगे तो आजू बाजू के किसी स्टेट के को फॉलो करते होंगे वो, right? Or the central rule. If the state do not have a rule, then they would be following the central rule. तो जिस एक्ट में ये प्रोविजन नहीं है कि स्टेट कैन हैव देयर ओन रूल्स, that act will have the central rule, and the central rule will have all the annexures, all the forms, format, returns, specification regarding date and everything, right? That we will now see when we will see this next act. Okay. So Factories Act is a big act, 120 sections, 7-8 chapters. The another such big act is Industrial Dispute Act, very huge. जितने भी लड़ाई झगड़े लफड़े होते हैं उनका निपटारा के लिए जो एक्ट applicable, it is ID Act. We will see in maybe the last session. Okay. Today we just see another act. This
Sir,
act.
I have found the Jharkhand rule.
Oh, great, great. So as of now, you can just download and read it. Anything exclusive, you can share it. Hai na? Maybe later. Let us see this particular rule first of all, this particular act. What we're talking about is the Payment of Bonus Act 1965. It is a wage act. This comes under the category of Wages Act. So there are different acts related to wage. So payment of bonus, payment of gratuity, Minimum Wages Act, Equal Remuneration Act, all these are related to wage. Okay. Now what is bonus?
Something given up and above his salary.
एक की भी नहीं सुन पाया.
Like when the company earns some extra profit, it disseminates that extra profit to its employees in terms of bonus. Like for example, usually during festivals and all, they give bonuses.
Okay. Yeah, Bushra, you were saying something?
So same.
Same.
Yes, sir. So paying something over the top, the salary, excluding the salary, if you are paying something to your employer, there is that.
Okay.
It's a type of reward.
It's a type of reward. It's not reward. It's a gift.
Sir, but bonus is also given for the extra work.
It's
That's perk, I guess. Like on the basis of performance.
For extra work, what is paid?
OT.
Overtime. Perfect. कौन सा एक्ट में आता है?
The Factory Act.
Yes, the Factories Act. Which section?
Sir, the
chapter?
7 talks about working hours in that, I think.
7 or 6?
So chapter 6.
Chapter 6.
Yes, sir.
So name is correct, working hours. Okay. So there it talks about wages for extra hours, है ना? So that is overtime. ज़्यादा काम किया तो ज़्यादा पैसा मिलना चाहिए. That is overtime. Bonus is gift. In addition to what you get as a salary or wage, bonus is a gift. Okay. So your income has two components. One is which is paid for your services. है ना? which is paid for your services. आपको जिस काम के लिए रखा गया है उस काम के एवज में जो पैसा मिलता है that is basic wage, है ना? That is the money for the skill. And then certain things are allowances. Certain things are allowances. जैसे हम house rent allowance बोलो, transportation allowance बोलो, education allowance बोलो. So company cannot provide you that facility. You have to make your own arrangements. Company will support you. है ना? So those are allowances. Anyway. So bonus is a gift. अभी कायदे का जरूरत क्यों पड़ा? Why this act was required?
Bonus
To reg-
there was unfair distribution of money or like unfair distribution of bonus.
जैसे आपके यहाँ काम वाली आती है, वो भाग नहीं जाए छोड़ के, तो आप दिवाली होली पे उसको एक एक्स्ट्रा साड़ी देते हो, है ना? सोसाइटी का वॉचमैन है, वो आया या नहीं है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? तो आपने उसको एक 50 का नोट दे दिया, हो गया, बोल निकलो, राइट? तो जब ये दोनों इकट्ठे होंगे, काम वाले एकदम खुश होके जाते हुए बोले कि देखो आज सेठानी ने मुझे साड़ी दी दिवाली पे, तो वॉचमैन नाराज हो जाएगा, वो आके आपसे कंप्लेन करेगा कि आपने उसको साड़ी दी और मुझे खाली 50 रुपए मिठाई का डिब्बा तो देना चाहिए, नहीं होता है? नहीं होता था?
Why would the watchman come and complain us? We are, I mean, he's
किधर
not
जाएगा बेचारा?
guarding specifically our house, he's guarding the whole society.
Yeah, but the maid said that अनामिका की मम्मी ने मेरे को साड़ी दी, तो कहाँ जाके बोलेगा? कंप्लेन कहाँ जाके करेगा बताओ? वो या तो अनामिका की मम्मी को जाके बोलेगा कि आपने उसको साड़ी दी, मुझे कुछ नहीं दिया, है ना? या किसी ऐसी जगह जाएगा जहां पे इस तरह की सारी कंप्लेन सुनी जाती है कि नहीं?
But sir, is still bonus is up to the will, or in this case, it's up to the will of owner. No, if she or he want to.
It was exactly, that is what the reason for bringing an act on this, है ना? अनामिका की मम्मी ने एक साड़ी दी, उनके बाजू में कोई और आंटी रहती है, उन्होंने 2 साड़ी दी, 1 किलो मिठाई का डिब्बा दे दिया, और कोई दी आंटी उन्होंने भगा दिया, कमाया तेरा काम मंगा रहा है, अच्छा काम नहीं करती, साफ सफाई ठीक करती है, क्या बोनस पगार भी काट लेना चाहिए, है ना? Same person doing same job at 3 different places are getting 3 different kind of treatments, right? So in that case there was a grievance. अच्छा, क्या नुकसान होगा इससे?
That person is working.
Yes, the same working capabilities. The worksman or the employee's working capability will be deducted. Yes, because his क्योंकि he won't be satisfied with the work environment or the how people treating him, so it will demotivate him to work.
आप एक फैक्ट्री चला रहे हो, है ना? आप एक फैक्ट्री चला रहे हो, आपके 150 लोग काम करते हैं, आप हर साल दिवाली पे आपके एम्प्लॉयज को 1-1 किलो ड्राई फ्रूट का डिब्बा देते हो, ठीक है? आपके बाजू में एक और कंपनी है, वहां भी 100 लोग काम करते हैं, उसका जो ओनर है वो दिवाली पे 1 जोड़ी कपड़ा, आधा किलो मिठाई, आधा किलो ड्राई फ्रूट देता है। वर्कर कहाँ काम करना पसंद करेगा?
The second factor.
The second factor.
है ना? अच्छा, जो लोग आपके यहाँ काम कर रहे हो क्या करेंगे?
They will complain or gossip in just
वो आपको
between
कंप्लेन
them.
करेंगे, देखो बाजू वाला तो ऐसा करता है, आप नहीं करते हो।
They will
Right?
wish to work with that company, sir.
हाँ, so if the choice is available, they'll go there to work, है ना? So इनिशियली क्या हुआ, जब वर्ल्ड वॉर 1 हुआ उस टाइम पे कुछ कंपनीज ने वॉर बोनस जैसा दिया टू सम ऑफ द एम्प्लॉयज, बिकॉज उस टाइम क्या था, इन कम वॉट में कंपनी हैज टू वर्क, है ना, स्कैरसिटी है, सामान नहीं मिल रहा है, बनाना पड़ेगा, ऑर्डिनेंस है, काम चालू रखना है, कुछ भी हो जाए। तो उस केस में जिन जिन कंपनियों ने चालू रखा, जिन्होंने प्रोडक्टिविटी कंटिन्यू रखा इतनी सब विषम परिस्थितियों में भी, तो वहां उन्होंने, उसके सेठ ने उनके वर्कर को एडिशनल पैसा दिया 10% एज ए वॉर बोनस, बट नॉट ऑल। ओके, कुछ मामलों में जैसा मैंने बताया इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट हो गया, झगड़े हो गए कि वो दे रहा है, ये नहीं दे रहा है, इसने ज्यादा दिया, उसने कम दिया, वो कभी नहीं देता, ये हमेशा देता रहता है, इसने इतना दिया, उसने उतना दिया। So there were industrial dispute. So in 1950 उस झगड़े को सेटल करने के लिए एक बेंच बैठा, बेंचेस मल्टीपल जजेस, है ना, फुल बेंचेस, 5 there were 5 judges to bring in the things at the parity level. Okay, and the third reason was the act was required to bring in the parity. Payment of bonus कैसे होगा, क्या गाइडलाइंस होगा, है ना, एंड इट इज एन अरिथमेटिक कैलकुलेशन, इट इज एन अरिथमेटिक कैलकुलेशन। तो उसमें एग्जैक्ट नंबर मिलेगा, कितना वैल्यू देना चाहिए एज ए बोनस, वो अमाउंट ही मिलेगा सीधा। सो दो इट इज इन टर्म्स ऑफ परसेंटेज, बट दैट परसेंटेज इज कैलकुलेटेड ऑन एक्चुअल वैल्यूज। ओके, तो उसमें कितना दे दो, उतना दे दो, ये मिनिमम लिमिट है, मैक्सिमम लिमिट है, उस लिमिट के बीच का भी कोई वैल्यू हो सकता है, उसके बियॉन्ड भी जा सकता है एक्चुअल वैल्यू, ठीक है ना। सो द पर्पस ऑफ दिस एक्ट वाज टू ब्रिंग इन द पैरिटी, सेटिंग अप द रूल्स ऑन पेइंग द बोनसेस टू पीपल। बोनस इज नथिंग बट अ गिफ्ट दैट इज ओवर एंड अबव योर सैलरी और वेजेस। लेकिन कोई कम देगा, कोई ज्यादा देगा, किसको कितना देना चाहिए, कब देना चाहिए कि नहीं देना चाहिए, कौन हकदार है, किसको नहीं मिलेगा, ये सब चीजें भी क्लियर करना जरूरी था। सो टू सेट ऑल दिस थिंग्स इन प्लेस एंड टू ब्रिंग इन अ पैरिटी, in 1965 the payment of bonus act was enacted. I think it was September 1965 this particular act was enacted. The objective was to regulate the amount of bonus to be paid, impose a legal responsibility on the employer, है ना, मैं दूंगा, वो नहीं देगा, वो देगा, मैं नहीं दूंगा, मैं क्यों दूं, मुझे तो नुकसान हो रहा है, nothing doing. Irrespective of your profit or loss, there are certain legal responsibilities on the employer. Okay, and that was set on, that was decided, right? So to set up the legal obligations on the employer, designate minimum and maximum percentage, कितना देना पड़ेगा, कितना देना चाहिए, है ना, एक साड़ी आधा किलो मिठाई का डिब्बा, एक साड़ी 1 किलो मिठाई का डिब्बा, 2 साड़ियां 2 किलो मिठाई का डिब्बा, यू हैव टू डिसाइड, दिस इज लीस्ट, इतना तो देना ही पड़ेगा, दिस इज मैक्सिमम, इससे ज्यादा नहीं दे सकते। कोई कंपनी का बहुत एकदम जबरदस्त प्रॉफिट हो गया, फार्मा कंपनी हैंड सैनिटाइजर बेच के 400 गुना प्रॉफिट कर लिया, but it doesn't mean that entire 400% profit you will distribute among your employees. So there is a maximum limit set. Beyond that, you will not do it.
So just now you said that the company, irrespective of earning profit or earning losses, has to give this bonus. So, I mean, if the company is not earning profit, then from where will the company give the bonus?
Good question. So the act says that any company, when it gets start, for first 3 years, they are not liable to pay any bonus, irrespective of their profit and loss. They may, but they are not liable. However, after 3 years, based on certain calculations, they will have to pay 8.33% of wage as a minimum bonus. कहां से आएगा? ये आएगा पिछले 3 साल में आपने जो अर्निंग की है उसमें से. तो शुरुआत के 3 साल आपके ऊपर किसी भी तरह का लायबिलिटी नहीं है बोनस देने का, लेकिन उसके बाद आपको कम से कम 8.33 तो देना ही पड़ेगा, बिकॉज एवरी बिजनेस द ऑब्जेक्टिव इज बेनिफिट, ऑब्जेक्टिव इज प्रॉफिट, है ना. तो 3 साल के लिए आपको एक फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी मिलेगा. उसके बाद सेट ऑन सेट ऑफ करके सिस्टम है, उसके अंतर्गत आप हर साल बोनस को डिक्लेयर करेंगे और पेमेंट करेंगे, बट नॉट लेस देन 8.33 and not more than 20.
So for the first 3 years, you said that it's not like an obligation for the company to disseminate this bonus. So are there companies who distribute this bonus even in their first 3 years?
They can. It is not mandatory that they must, but they can.
So are there any such companies which distribute the bonus in the first 3 years itself?
There may be many companies.
Yes, we also got from the first year.
See, Ruchi is a rich company.
No, sir. We always get, sir, gifts and all, everything. Now,
Great.
Women's Day is coming, so we are ready for that also.
Oh, then you must gift all these women in this
Yes,
class also.
Yes, sir. Even housekeeping girls also.
So you take the address of all these, women of our class and gift them as well.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, I'll send, sir.
Tell Mr. Mishra that, there are other women with whom you want to celebrate Women Day. You take the addresses of all these women and give them.
Sure,
Anyway,
sir.
but then it's a great practice. Okay. So these are what Ruchi is talking about is non-statutory. It is not statutory. मतलब compulsion नहीं है. This is a welfare. This is an engagement. You are connecting with people by some means. Okay. When we talk about payment of bonus act, it is statutory payment. It is must. So for first 3 years, you are not liable. But if you made a profit in the first year and you wish that you want to share it with the people, you can do that. Okay. Even if you did not make any profit. कोरोना में 4 महीना हमने पगार नहीं लिया, लेकिन हमने अपने काम वाले को पगार देना जारी रखा. That's a bonus, isn't it? It's not statutory, but it's a bonus, a kind of gift that you gave to your own people. Okay. Then prescribe the formula for calculating the bonus, it has to be calculated, and in case of any dispute, what could be the redressal mechanism, who can get, who will not get, what you will get, and all these things. Okay. Scope, it is applicable to whole of India, including state of Jammu and Kashmir and all other union territories, right? Then it is applicable to every factory. It is applicable to every factory. Now, what is factory?
A place where 10 or more than 10 workers manufacturing anything with power, or a place where more than 20 or 20 worksmen in manufacturing any process or doing any manufacturing process without power.
Right. So the definition of factory is same as the Factories Act. Okay. And any establishment where 20 or more people were employed on any day during an accounting year. Okay. So all the factories and every establishment दुकान, मकान, जो भी है, ठीक है, जहां पे 20 या से ज्यादा लोग काम कर रहे हैं, in any day during an accounting year. Now here the accounting year has been also defined in section 2. In Factories Act we had calendar year, है ना?
Yes, sir.
In Factories Act there was a definition of calendar year. Here there is a word called accounting year. So accounting year is also defined section 2 of this act, which means either the year starting from 1st April or any day after the closure of accounting book. बैलेंस शीट फाइनल हो गया, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट फाइनल हो गया, उस डेट के बाद का जो भी डेट होगा वहां से चालू होने वाला साल.
But usually, I mean, that date is like 1st of April. I mean, usually 31st of March
Generally.
only the companies.
Generally, है ना? So we take financial year. So therefore, in our case, yeah, Ruchi. So we take financial year, which is April to March. Therefore, in most of the cases, the accounting year will also be April to March. But the definition of accounting year is different. There are 4 clauses in accounting year also. 4 definitions are there: A, B, C, and D. So the the definition under C is year commencing from 1st April. Other 3 definitions are, as I said, as per the balance sheet or P&L account finalization. Okay. However, there is provision. Authorities, the power have been given to appropriate government to implement the Payment of Bonus Act to all such establishment where the number of people are less than 10. है ना? Special power is given. So 10 या 10 लोग भी काम कर रहे हैं ना, तो वहां भी बोनस का पेमेंट एप्लीकेबल करा सकता है. The inspector with the power available with him can ask any establishment where 10 or more people are working to be under the Payment of Bonus Act. ठीक है? या अगर गैजेट में नोटिफाई कर दिया बीड़ी उद्योग को बोनस देने का, तो बीड़ी उद्योग में 4 आदमी काम कर रहे तो भी बोनस एप्लीकेबल हो गया, है ना? किसान को बोनस देने का, आपके घर में जो मजदूर काम कर रहा है वो बोनस के लिए पात्र है. आपके घर में जो काम वाला या काम वाली है उसको भी बोनस देना पड़ेगा. ऐसा गैजेट में अगर डिक्लेयर कर दिया तो वहां ना तो फैक्ट्री है आपका घर, ना 20 लोग काम कर रहे, है ना? बट गैजेट में आ गया, सरकार ने गैजेट में पास कर दिया, सरकार ने आदेश दे दिया कि घर में जो काम कर रहे हैं मजदूर लोग, होम सर्वेंट, हाउसमेट्स, उनको भी बोनस मिलना चाहिए. So in that case, you will also be covered under the Payment of Bonus Act. और उस एक्ट में जो भी प्रावधान है वो आपके घर पे भी लागू पड़ने लगेंगे. ठीक है?
So what's the use of this, like notifying in gazette? I mean, these are usually for like organizations, factories, or companies. Then why? I mean, why not directly like following this?
No, see, there is a startup. There is a startup who is providing housekeeping services, for example. Not registered under Factories Act. 10 लोग काम कर रहे हैं. There are 10. उसके पास में 10 ऐसे लोग हैं जो घर घर जाके साफ सफाई करते हैं as and when required. ठीक है? लेकिन वो बोलेगा कि साहब 10 ही लोग हैं, I am not liable to pay bonus because I don't come under the Payment of Bonus Act. Mine is not a factory. I have an establishment, but there are number of people are less than 20. So I do not come under the frame.
So, but I I mean, they are like organization itself. So, I mean, how does it matter if like they're an organization? So these things are usually applicable for like the.
What is written in the act? It is applicable to whom?
It's applicable anywhere where like 20 or more than 20 persons are employed.
Correct. So any factory, yours is a startup. Yours is a startup. आपका एक स्टार्टअप है जहाँ पे 10 लोग काम कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. So is it a factory? Is it a factory? No. Okay. So you do not come under factory, right? But then you come under establishment. Office है, registered संस्था है. So it's an establishment. It's an organization. Okay. So any establishment can come under Payment of Bonus Act provided the number of people working are 20 or more on any day in the accounting year, right?
So then how your like home servant example is applicable here?
That is what I'm saying. आपकी संस्था फैक्ट्री नहीं है, आपकी संस्था में 20 लोग काम नहीं करते, तो एज सच आपके ऊपर पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट एप्लीकेबल नहीं है. ठीक है. अब ऐसी 100 संस्थाएं हो गई, ऐसी 100 संस्थाएं हो गई जहां 10 लोग 12 लोग काम कर रहे हैं. ठीक. ऑल सर्विस इंडस्ट्रीज फॉर एग्जांपल, they all say that since we do not come under this ambit of factory or establishment with 20 or more people, I am not liable to pay bonus. लेकिन सरकार को लगता है कि करीब करीब 150 लोग ऐसे हैं, 150 लोग ऐसे हैं जिनको ये मिलना चाहिए. क्यों? क्योंकि आपका स्टार्टअप प्रॉफिट कर रहा है, राइट? तो सरकार क्या करेगी? सरकार एक नोटिफिकेशन जारी करेगी गैजेट में कि इस प्रकार की सभी संस्थाएं जिसमें 10 से उससे ज्यादा लोग काम करते हैं उनको भी पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट एप्लीकेबल हो जाएगा.
So in that case, I mean, they're already covered under this minimum of 10 employees, na? So why alag se we need this notified in gazette?
नहीं ना बाबा, नहीं ना बाबा. There can be cases where it is, if सरकार says कि इस प्रकार की सभी संस्थाएं पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट में आ जाएंगी तो 10 लोग हो, 5 हो, 1 हो, सबको लागू हो जाएगा. कोई काम ऐसा हो सकता है, कोई गृह उद्योग है, कोई गृह उद्योग है, छोटा सा घर से काम कर रहे हैं. उस केस में अगर 10 लोग होंगे तो उनको लगेगा, तो आपके एक पर्टिकुलर उद्योग को वो बोलेगा कि भाई तुमको लागू होगा. ठीक है. दैट इज मिनिमम ऑफ 10 एम्प्लॉइज. समथिंग विच इज जनरल, इट कैन कम इन गैजेट. इस प्रकार की सारी संस्थाओं का एप्लीकेबल हो जाएगा, वो गैजेट में आ जाएगी. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. So by default, it is applicable to any factory or establishment where 20 or more people are employed. However, there are power conferred as per this act, I think section 38 perhaps, which gives the power wherein you can, bring institutions, establishment under this payment of bonus act. कोई कोचिंग क्लास चल रहा है, कोई कोचिंग क्लास चल रहा है, कोचिंग क्लास में 4 फैकल्टी हैं जो पढ़ा रहे हैं. There's a coaching class, there are only 4 teachers who are teaching. So 4 लोग हैं. So it is an establishment, but less than 20 people. Payment of bonus is not applicable. करोड़ों रुपया कमा रहे हैं. So it is pure profit. Minimum expenditure. Now you are not distributing the profit among your 4 teachers. Anyone can go to the appellate and can tell कि साहब इतना करोड़ रुपया कमाते हैं, हमको तो बोनस मिलता नहीं है. So in that case, inspector will apply that, oh 10 लोग नहीं है ना, but फिर भी तुमको लगेगा करोड़ों कमा रहे ना, तो 2 करोड़ मुझे देने का, बाकी का इनको देने का. राइट। एंड देन ऐसे कई सारे केसेस हो गए, सरकार नोटिफिकेशन दे देगी गैजेट में कि जितने भी कोचिंग सेंटर हैं वो सारे कोचिंग सेंटर पेमेंट ऑफ बोनस एक्ट के अंतर्गत आएंगे, है ना। आगे हम देखेंगे तेरा सर्टन एरियाज और कंपनीज विच आर अंडर एग्जम्पशन। कल को सरकार को लगेगा कि नहीं यार एग्जम्पशन में से बाहर निकालना है, इनको बोनस एप्लीकेबल नहीं था उसको कर दो, so then that will come in the gadget, right? Great. So as I said, the accounting year, the definition section 2 talks about definitions. So in definition accounting year, generally we say 1st of April. Other two definitions you can read. Okay. Another thing for calculating of bonus is allocable surplus and available surplus. पैसा कहां से आएगा? पैसा आएगा अवेलेबल सरप्लस में से। कितना देना चाहिए? आपके पास जितना भी सरप्लस है, सरप्लस मतलब
एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट ऑफ मनी,
जरूरत से ज्यादा, है ना। जरूरत से ज्यादा पैसा जितना भी है आपका, वो हो गया आपका अवेलेबल सरप्लस। उसमें से कितना देना चाहिए एज ए बोनस? उसमें से एज ए बोनस आप कितना देंगे? ठीक है, दैट बिकम्स एलोकेबल सरप्लस। तो अगर आपकी कंपनी ने डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया है, अगर आपकी कंपनी ने डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया है, in that case 67% of available surplus will be used as allocable surplus. मतलब अगर हम मान लेते हैं कि सब काट पीट करने के बाद में what is available surplus, we'll see section 5, but available surplus is suppose 1 lakh rupee. Available surplus is कितना?
1 लाख
1 लाख रुपीज। तो और अगर आपकी कंपनी ने किसी भी तरह का डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर नहीं किया है, डिविडेंड मतलब प्रॉफिट में से कुछ हिस्सा आपने ऑलरेडी डिक्लेयर नहीं किया है, इन दैट केस 67% ऑफ दैट अवेलेबल सरप्लस विल गो टू एलोकेबल सरप्लस। मतलब अगर 1 लाख रुपए आपके पास अवेलेबल सरप्लस था तो उसमें से 67,000 विल बी यूज्ड फॉर डिसबर्समेंट ऑफ बोनस। अगर डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया है तो 67%, और अगर डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर नहीं किया है तो 60%। तो अगर आपके पास 1 लाख रुपया सरप्लस है, ज्यादा है, प्रॉफिट 1 लाख रुपए का है आपके पास, उस 1 लाख में से आप 60 to 67%, मतलब 60,000 से लेके 67,000 रुपए तक का प्रोविजन आप देंगे बोनस के लिए। ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Srishti.
Sir, can you explain it once again?
Bonus is a share in profit. Okay. So not 100% of the profit is distributed among employees. So the provision says that there are two terms used. One is available surplus. Second is allocable surplus. मतलब मैंने पूरे साल सब रेवेन्यू जनरेट करके 1 लाख रुपए का नेट प्रॉफिट हुआ, सो माय अवेलेबल सरप्लस इज 1 लाख रुपए। इफ द कंपनी हैज ऑलरेडी डिक्लेयर्ड दैट दे विल गिव द डिविडेंड, डिविडेंड मतलब एडिशनल मनी, है ना। तो अगर कंपनी ने डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया है, उस केस में अवेलेबल सरप्लस जो है 1 लाख रुपया, उसका 67% मतलब 67,000 रुपए आप एज ए बोनस डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं। अगर आपने डिक्लेयर नहीं किया है डिविडेंड, इन दैट केस 60% मतलब 60,000 रुपया एज ए बोनस यू कैन डिस्ट्रीब्यूट। दिस इज लंप सम, राइट? टोटल, सो टोटल आपका 1 लाख का प्रॉफिट हुआ, उसमें से आप 60,000 रुपया एज ए बोनस डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करोगे। अगर ये अमाउंट टोटल पेएबल बोनस जो होना चाहिए 8.33% के हिसाब से, उससे कम है, उससे कम है ना, उससे कम है, तो भी आप 8.33% तो दोगे ही।
और अगर उससे ज्यादा है सर तो
बता दो। अगर उससे कम है तो भी आप 8.33% तो दोगे ही, अगर आपका फैक्ट्री 3 साल से ऊपर हो गया है तो। ठीक है, पहले 3 साल तक देना नहीं है, चौथे साल में देना पड़ेगा, है ना। तो चौथे साल में अगर पिछले साल का एलोकेबल सरप्लस इतना नहीं है कि आप सारे एम्प्लॉयज को 8.33% के हिसाब से बोनस दे पाओ, फिर भी आपको 8.33 के हिसाब से बोनस देना पड़ेगा। और जो नुकसान है वो अगले साल होने वाले मुनाफे में से रिकवर करना पड़ेगा।
Yes, sir. Get it.
So
Okay,
1 lakh is our.
We will see. Let us go through this definition first. Okay. हाँ, कुछ पूछ रहे थे अनामिका?
Yes, sir, 1 lakh was an available surplus. Out of that, 67%, 67,000 is the bonus amount that we can disseminate. So
True.
this 67,000 ka 8.33% will be disseminated.
नहीं, 67,000 is the total fund that you can give as a bonus. That you can give as a bonus. अभी 10 एम्प्लॉय है, सबका पगार 5-5 हजार रुपया है। 10 एम्प्लॉयज हैं, हर एम्प्लॉय का पगार 5-5 हजार रुपया है। ठीक है, तो 5,000 का 8.33 कितना हुआ? 5,000 का 8.33% कितना हुआ?
416.
416. So 416 multiply by 10 कितना हुआ?
4,160.
बराबर ना। ये एक महीने का पेएबल मिनिमम बोनस हुआ। 10 लोग, उनका सैलरी 5,000 रुपया, मिनिमम बोनस पेमेंट इज 8.33%. So 8.33 of 5,000 is 416 rupees for one person. So for 10% multiply by 10, कितना हो गया? 4,000 rupees. 4,160 rupees हुआ। ये एक महीने का 10 लोगों का पेएबल बोनस हुआ। ठीक है, समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ओके, तो 12 महीने का कितना हुआ?
49,920.
फैंटास्टिक। आपके पास कितना पैसा पड़ा था?
67,000.
67,000. पेएबल कितना हुआ?
12 months का 50,000 approx.
हाँ, कितना बच गया?
17,080 rupees.
17,080 rupees will carry forward to the next year. ठीक है,
Adding to next year का bonus का reserve.
adding to next year's available surplus. It will add to next year's available surplus. ठीक है, अच्छा अभी मान लो 10 लोगों का सैलरी कितना था?
50,000, like 1,500.
वो एक महीने का 50,000 था ना, पगार डबल कर दिया। आप बोले अभी पगार आपका हो गया हर महीने का 10,000 रुपया। ठीक है, अभी कितना हुआ तुम्हारा लायबिलिटी? What will be the minimum payable bonus, Hima? 10 employees, every employee has a salary of 10,000 rupees. What will be the minimum payable liability for bonus?
Into 8.33, sir.
Into of what? किसको into?
10 into 1000 into 8.33.
10 into 10,000. Oh, you are seeing something else. Not paying
No.
attention to me.
No, sir, I can't understand completely Hindi.
My God. So Hindi tha? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me be in English.
Okay, sir. Sir,
See, what I'm saying is
mm,
that there are two terms, available surplus and allocable surplus. By the way, for all these classes, I'm speaking in Hindi.
no, sir. Completely, I can't understand only few.
और तुम आज जगी. My God. All in vain.
No problem, sir.
No, it's not a problem with me. But you should have told on the day one that no Hindi, please.
No.
Again, I'll tell you that when we're talking about bonus, there's a term called available surplus and allocable surplus. So the case is there are 10 employees. If you want to write, you can write it down. There are 10 employees. Each earn 10,000 rupees a month.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So what is the minimum payable bonus? Now minimum limit is how much? 8.33%.
Yes, sir.
What is the minimum payable? What is the payable minimum bonus? 10 employees, each has a salary of 10,000 rupees. So what will be the monthly liability? $8.33 multiplied by 10,000 multiplied by 10. Right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the number?
8,330.
8,330 is the liability per month. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So what is the annual liability?
99,960.
How much?
99,960.
99,960. Okay?
Yes,
Now
yes.
what is the allocable surplus with you?
67,000 17.
Right. Now 99,000 is less than 67,000. Yeah. No. Your allocable surplus is 67,000. Your minimum payable liability is 99,000. आपके पास पैसा कम है, देना ज्यादा है. क्या करोगे?
We'll take from next year's available surplus.
So next year तो पता नहीं ना. But then in any way, I will have to pay 99,000 rupees as a bonus. Because that is what I am required to pay. तो 30,000 रुपया कहीं से उधार लेके भी इस साल तो मैं बोनस कैसे भी करके पे करूंगा. ठीक है? समझा? कहां से आएगा, कैसे आएगा, वो फाइनेंस वाले पे छोड़ दो.
But in 11th standard, we had read this one principle of conservatism, where it said that the company should always make provisions for future losses in beforehand. So, but sir, here in this case, we are ourselves making a loss for us without even any provision. So, is this not again that principle?
No, but this is statute. This is statute. मैंने नहीं पढ़ा 11वीं क्लास में क्या है, बट मैंने ये कायदा पढ़ा. तो this act says that whatever may be the other principle in finance, you have to have the provision for payment of bonus as per this act. Minimum 8.33%. Okay. So even if my margin of profit is less for this year, I will have to make this provision, this payment anyhow, right? Okay, so just let us continue the discussion. 99,000 was the liability, 60,000 is available. I have to pay 99,000 rupees. So what is the difference?
32,960.
32,960. Okay, इसको कहीं लिख के रख लो. इसको कहीं लिख के रख लो. Now next year, your available surplus is 5 lakh rupees. Your available surplus is
5 lakhs.
5 lakh rupees. What is your allocable surplus?
4,67,040 rupees.
5 lakh ka 67%, right? Yeah, 60%. If you have not declared the dividend, it is 60%. 5 lakh ka 60% na?
1 second, sir, 1 second. I just subtracted that available, previous year ka this.
No, उसको बाद में करेंगे.
3,35,000.
3,30,000. Right? Okay. What is the payable liability?
32,960.
Ille?
8.33.
8.33? So what is that amount?
35 into 8.33 into again 10 employees.
Exactly. So there is no change in the salary. It is still the same. 10,000 rupees, 10 people. 99,000 is your liability.
No.
इतना ही एक्ट है. अगर ये समझ में आ गया तो बाकी कुछ आगे पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है.
$5 lakh was an available surplus, जिसमें से 60% we excluded of allocable surplus. So now our allocable surplus is of 3 lakhs.
Yes.
And there we had 8,330 per month of the employees. So into 12 karne pe, we are getting 99,960. This is what this.
Listen. What is given? Mathematics में पढ़ते ना given. What is given? Given is 10 employees.
10,000 per month.
10K salary per month. ठीक है? This is given. Year 1. Available surplus is 1 lakh rupees. ठीक है? So what will be the allocable surplus?
67,000.
67,000.
Yes.
What is the minimum payable bonus? $10 into 8.33% of 10,000 rupees. Yeah.
Yes.
For 12 months. कितना हुआ?
99,960.
99,960. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So your allocable surplus was 67,000. Your minimum payable bonus is 99,960. है ना? So your difference is minus
32,960.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now year 2. So in year 1, come what may, this 99,960 ये आपको देना ही पड़ेगा. ठीक है, ये हो गया. Now this 32,960 का डिफरेंस है. ये मुझे पहले साल में अपने पॉकेट से देना पड़ा. ठीक है. Okay, now come to year 2. In year 2, बहुत अच्छा धंधा करके my available surplus कितना हो गया?
5 lakhs.
है ना? 5 lakh rupees. Correct? Okay. So what is my allocable surplus?
35,000.
कितना?
3,35,000.
3,35,000, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My minimum payable bonus is how much?
99,960.
Okay. Just find out what is the maximum payable bonus. Maximum कितना होगा? Maximum limit is 20%.
20,000 is the maximum.
Okay. Of 10,000 multiplied by 12. कितना होगा ये value? 10 into 10,000 का 20% मतलब 2,000. तो ये कितना हो गया?
40,000.
2,40,000. ठीक है ना? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, my allocable surplus is how much?
3,35,000.
3,35,000 minus 32,960. कितना हुआ?
3,02,040.
3,02,040.
40.
Okay.
So 2,040.
3 lakh. Okay. Correct. So this now becomes the new allocable surplus for year 2. Right?
Yes, sir.
पिछली बार का जो नुकसान था उस नुकसान को हमने इसमें से सेट ऑफ किया. और जो वैल्यू बचा वो हो गया इस साल का नया एलोकेबल सरप्लस. अब 8.33% देंगे कि 20% देंगे? क्या देना चाहिए?
Minimum we should pay.
No. Your allocable surplus is more than your maximum payable bonus.
सर तो 20% देंगे.
तो हम 20% देंगे. मतलब this year my bonus will be 20% and not 8.33.
सर ये सारे एम्प्लॉयज को मिला के होगा ना 1 साल का?
हाँ, 10 लोगों का बोला ना अपन ने, अपन ऊपर लिखा ना 10 लोग हैं और एक आदमी का सैलरी अगर 10,000 रुपया है तो टोटल कितना पेएबल होगा, ठीक है ना। इसको बोलते हैं सेट ऑन एंड सेट ऑफ। क्या बोलते हैं? सेट ऑन
and
set
set
off.
off.
I think it is section 15 and 16 या 14 and 15. This is clear? ये समझ गए?
Yes, sir. All these calculation is called set on or off.
It is either set on or set off. तो ये जो -32 किया, set off किया. अब यहाँ क्या होगा? अब क्या होगा? See, what will happen? My allocable surplus was 3,02,040, right?
Yes, sir.
है ना? माइनस बांटा कितना?
सर 240।
240 कितना बच गया?
62,040.
62,000 बराबर ना? So this would be set on next year. अब अगर year 3 में your available surplus is 3 lakh rupees, then your allocable surplus becomes
3,62,040.
perfect. And if this value is more than 20%, the maximum payable.
Sir, on 3 lakhs again, 67%, we should not do like that.
Sorry?
For
Yeah. So I'm saying, let us, if it is an allocable surplus, okay, same thing. What you're saying is also correct. So 60% of 3 lakh will be 1,80,000, right?
2,01,000.
Sorry.
2,01,000.
So then it becomes 2,01,000 plus 62. So 2,63. है ना? Now this 263 is also more than 240. I'll still give 20%.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But if you increase the salary, and then this allocable surplus is less than maximum, then you will give the minimum. Or any value in between minimum and maximum. ठीक है ना? So you can give 19%, you can give 18%, whatever comes. And the balance amount will be set on, set off. And that any addition, ये जितना बचेगा ना, ये जो बच गया 2,40,000 बच गया, उसको आप अगले 3 साल तक कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर सकते हैं. ठीक है? Set on is possible for next 3 years.
सर अगर उसके बाद भी बचता है तो?
उसके बाद बच जाएगा तो आपके बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट में से निकल जाएगा. ठीक है ना? वो लायबिलिटी निकल जाएगी. You will absorb that amount. So see, generally all these are finance functions. Okay, generally all these are finance functions. But how to do, or what are the basics, how it's being calculated, as an HR I must know. Right?
Yes, sir.
So by and large the entire act we have understood. Okay. Very few fine things that you must still remember, that section 3 talks about the inclusion. Section 3 of this act talks about inclusion. मतलब किसी संस्था की अलग-अलग ब्रांच ऑफिसेस हैं. किसी संस्था की अलग-अलग ब्रांच ऑफिसेस हैं. So Hima, she started one, chartered accountancy firm in Hyderabad. Okay. Then she had one office in Ahmedabad, one in Mumbai, one in Chennai, one she got in Visakhapatnam, one in Trivandrum. Okay. At different locations, she got different branch offices. Her work is flourishing. Now, if the balance sheet and P&L account of all these branches is one, then this entire setup would be considered as one establishment. Yes? Any question?
सर पर अलग अलग हुआ तो
क्या
जो ये आप बता रहे हैं
अलग अलग होगा तो फिर अलग अलग इस्टेब्लिशमेंट. देखो
called independent. Right?
No. See, Hima is smart. Hima is intelligent. What she will do? She will have different offices. Okay, and she will have less number of employees. Everywhere 10 employees. Okay, so although it's an establishment, but since the number of employees are less than 20, it will not come under the purview of Payment of Bonus Act. है ना?
The first condition is inside the
जी?
That's like, I mean, the first is from 10
आवाज ब्रेक हो रहा है ना मेरा?
Sir,
हाँ जी?
it's like first condition maybe bonus act. I mean, this bonus system would work. Here she's having 10 people, no?
Yeah. So by default, the act is not applicable. If number of employees are less than 20, this act is not applicable. It is the inspector who has the power to bring such establishment under the Payments of Bonus Act, even if when the number of people are less than 20, but 10 or more. Right? So by default, it doesn't come. That is your question, na? That in previous slide, we said that 10 or more employees are also covered, comes under Payment of Bonus Act, right? That is what you said?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but then that is the power conferred to the inspector that he can bring such establishment under the Payment of Bonus Act where even the number of people are less than 20, but 10 or more.
Okay, so there were exceptions to the rules.
Yes, this is the power conferred that you can bring in. So they found that Hima has her chartered accountancy firm at various locations pan India. Everywhere she has only 8 people employed or 9 people employed because she understands the Payment of Bonus Act and no, I need not pay the bonus, so let me do this way. To save that 8.30 20% of her earning or profit, she made this arrangement. Okay, but then what did she do? She made a mistake that all these establishments, the earning, the accounting is under common name. Hima's Chartered Accountancy Firm. Okay, so if the accounting is common, then even if there are 8 people, 7 people, 5 people, All these offices put together becomes one establishment where you have more than 20 people working, and then you are under the payments of bonus act. Okay. She is smart, so she said, okay, I'll not keep the accounting same. I'll keep the different accounts for different branches. So everywhere the accounting is different, balance sheet is different, P&L account is different. Right? Hyderabad is the corporate office. All other are the what they call satellite offices. Every office has its own separate P&L. So put together, it is a separate entity. Okay. Some inspector visits Hima's corporate office at Hyderabad. He checks and then he understands that, okay, although she has different satellite offices, okay, but her business is very good. And by doing this, she's just trying to save the payment of bonus. The inspector will issue an order. Under the section 38, all the branches of Hima's chartered accountancy firm will be covered under payment of bonus act. That is the power to the inspector. Okay. So it is the intent. If your intention is to save and you caught, you will come under the, he can bring you under the gamut of payment of bonus act. Right? So that is the difference between 10, 20 and establishment. Okay. Section 3. Section 4, gross profit कैसे गिनेंगे? उसका calculation schedule 1 और schedule 2 में दिया है. How to calculate the gross profit. So generally, gross profit is what? Total income. है ना? सब माल सामान बेचा तो कितना पैसा टोटल कमाया माइनस कितना खर्चा किया. कितना खर्चा किया, लोगों को पगार दिया होगा, मशीनरी खरीदा होगा, एडवर्टाइजमेंट किया होगा, टैक्स भरा होगा.
So that is net profit, na? Ki after, I mean, gross profit is
Correct.
how much
So
we earn.
gross profit is after depreciation, after expenditure is a gross profit. उसमें से टैक्स निकलेगा तो नेट प्रॉफिट है ना. Right? So profit before tax, PBT. Hima, you can correct me. PBT, profit before tax, is your gross profit. So section 4 talks about how to calculate gross profit. बैंकिंग सेक्टर होगा तो उसमें कैसा गिनना है, नॉन बैंकिंग होगा तो कैसा गिनना है. ये काम फाइनेंस का है, हमारा नहीं है. स्टिल वी शुड नो, है ना. फाइनेंस विल टेल यू कि ये इस साल का नफा नुकसान है, बट देन यू शुड नो इन शेड्यूल 1 एंड शेड्यूल 2 it is mentioned कि how to calculate the gross profit. Section 5, this talks about how to calculate the available surplus. So it is the gross profit after deduction of the things mentioned in section 6. तो available surplus क्या होगा, जो gross profit है उसमें से section 6 में लिखा है क्या क्या deduct होगा. Depreciation, rebate, allowances, taxes या और कुछ जो थर्ड शेड्यूल में दिया है. Right? Yes, no, हाँ, ना.
Yes, sir. Just one thing, why these all things are not given in one section, like
God.
this is in section
Just to
6
make
and-
it simplified, just to make it simplified. Just to make it simplified.
The available surplus is the net profit. I mean, net profit, maybe we subtract all these things and then we come to net profit.
Absolutely. That you may term it, you may understand it that way. There is no word called net profit. There is no word called net profit in this act. Okay, in this act it says gross profit and available surplus. So available surplus is what? Available surplus is gross profit. Okay, मतलब सेक्शन 4 में हमने जो पाया वो ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट माइनस सेक्शन 6 में जो भी कुछ लिखा है वो। अवेलेबल सरप्लस मतलब ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट माइनस डिडक्शन। ठीक है, हाँ या ना? प्राची स्लीपिंग?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay,
I understood.
you understood. Great. So available surplus is सेक्शन 4 में जो लिखा है ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट माइनस सेक्शन 6 में जो लिखा है डिडक्शन, वो करने के बाद जो वैल्यू आएगा दैट इज अवेलेबल सरप्लस, है ना? बांटेंगे कौन सा? अवेलेबल सरप्लस। ओके, तो सेक्शन 6 में क्या क्या है? डिडक्शन क्या क्या होगा? डिडक्शन होगा डेप्रिसिएशन, रिबेट, कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट है, कोई डेवलपमेंट है, कोई टैक्सेस है, या शेड्यूल नंबर 3 में जो लिखा है वो सारी चीजें। ठीक है, ये डिडक्ट हो जाएगा आपके ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट से। तो जो बच गया वो हो गया अवेलेबल सरप्लस। डायरेक्ट टैक्स पेएबल बाय एम्प्लॉयर, इट इज अबाउट इनकम टैक्स एंड अदर थिंग्स, वी आर नॉट checking it right now. Now this is important to understand that we know minimum limit 8.33, we know maximum limit 20%. किसको मिलेगा? Who are the eligible employees to get bonus? So any employee, the definition of employee is also given, that you read. I am not telling, है ना? Definition of employee. Definition of employee याद रखने के लिए सुस्त सीएम या सस्ता सीएम, SUSTA सस्ता सीएम याद रखने का। स्किल, अनस्किल्ड, सेमी स्किल, टेक्निकल, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव, commercial and management, all these are covered. SUSTACM सस्ता सीएम। कैसा? सस्ता सीएम। So S stands for skill, U stands for unskill, S stands for semi skill, supervisory, T stands for technical, A stands for administrative, है ना? C stands for clerical, M stands for managerial, which means everybody is covered. सस्ता सीएम क्या पूछ रहा? आवाज नहीं पहुंच रही यहां तक। चिट्ठी लिख के बताओ। Okay, now important thing, who is covered? Any employee जिसका सैलरी या वेज 21,000 रुपए या उससे कम है। योग्यता क्या है? बोनस पाने की योग्यता क्या है? हर वो एम्प्लॉय जिसका महीने का पगार 21,000 या उससे कम है, he or she is eligible for bonus.
Here in Tata Steel, but I mean the higher position के employees, they get good amount of bonus. Yes, sir.
किसको मिलना चाहिए? किसको मिलना चाहिए? 21,000 या उससे कम पगार के जितने भी लोग हैं, दे आर एलिजिबल। किसको मिल रहा है वो सवाल नहीं, कितना मिल रहा है वो भी सवाल नहीं, कानून क्या कहता है वो हमें पता होना चाहिए, है ना। They are not entitled for any bonus as per Payment of Bonus Act. अगर उनको नहीं मिलेगा तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते, है ना।
Yes, sir.
प्रॉब्लम अनामिका, ऐसा पापा का पगार कम हो जाएगा ऐसा लग रहा था।
No, sir. I mean, there must be some inspector above, na, to invigilate all these things. No.
There are inspector who will inspect what? They will inspect that someone who is eligible is not getting.
So, sir, in this case, person who is already earning more than 21,000.
They should not be paid any bonus.
But he is paid, sir. Yeah.
Correct. They should not be paid. You can complain. बंद करो इनको देना.
Sir, it can depend on the company as well. If
ले
company...
बाबा. ले. That is, they pay under bonus. They pay under the value called bonus. Okay, but they are as such not entitled.
Yes, that is company's wish. You know.
You can give it any name.
Yes.
For them. For the people whose salary is more than 21,000 rupees, you pay them any amount under any head. You give it bonus, you give it incentive, you give it anything.
Okay,
But
sir.
person with the salary of 21,000 or less must get.
Yes.
चीफ केमिस्ट को मिला, लेकिन जो जूनियर केमिस्ट था उसको नहीं मिला। टाटा स्टील में भट्टी में जो कोयला झोंक रहा है उसको नहीं मिला, आपके पिताजी को मिला, वो गलत है। You know, I'm just giving an example. Don't take it otherwise. है ना, घर में पापा से झगड़ा मत करना कि आपको नहीं मिलना चाहिए, क्यों ले रहे हो। But what I'm saying is, who is eligible? Who is eligible? The person whose salary is less than or equal to 21,000. Okay, number one. Number two, he or she has worked for at least 30 days in the previous accounting year. पूरे साल में कम से कम 30 दिन काम किया होगा तो वो बोनस के हकदार हैं। ठीक है, it's clear?
So why these rules are so loose over here? 30 days in a year.
It's not loose. Why it is loose?
Sir, the 30 days. She's saying like...
अच्छा है ना, अच्छा है ना, पूरे साल में 30 दिन काम करो, बोनस मिलेगा।
No, sir, it's not good for the company or implication. So,
even on our part, how can we take something which, we have not worked for that, but still we are getting this. So that is the main problem.
30 days. You work for 30 days, na? You work for 30
sir,
days. You should get it for 30 days.
But we had to work for the whole year.
Not necessary.
There's something called attendance system. We have to, they have to maintain that minimum attendance, this thing.
Arey Baba, this particular act is what? It is a wage act. It is made considering the people who are underprivileged. है ना, मनरेगा में 150 दिन काम किया, 100 दिन काम किया, वो एंटाइटल हो गया बोनस के लिए। Yes or no? Someone
Yes,
who got an opportunity to work anywhere for 30 days, he or she is now entitled for payment of bonus as per 8.33% or 20%.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes,
So
sir.
this less number of days is because more people can get benefit out of it.
Yes.
Payment of bonus act was implemented in order to remove all the unfair or inequalities. But then again, this is again creating inequality, sir. Working only for 30 days and not working for rest of the year.
So whether you work for 30 days or you work for 365 days, you are entitled for payment of bonus.
The person who is working for 365 days is also getting bonus, and the person who is working for 30 days is also getting bonus. So is this not unfair?
No. The person who is working for 365 days will get bonus for 365 days.
Yes.
The
Correct.
person working for 30 days will get the bonus for 30 days.
Why would that person not work for 365 days and work only for 30 days?
He could not. He could not. जनवरी में 10-12 दिन काम किया, गांव चला गया, बाढ़ आ गया. Came back in month of March, again 7 days work, 5 बीमार, गांव चला गया. Came back in June, work for 10 days.
कोविड आ गया.
बच्चे कोविड आ गया, घर चला गया.
फिर थर्ड फेज आ गया.
Again came back in the month of October, work for 10 days, दिवाली आ गया, फिर गांव चला गया.
Right.
Okay. But then, whatever may be the reason, even in
अमाउंट
bits and
होता होगा
जी,
जो बोनस का अमाउंट होता होगा वो तो डिफरेंट होता होगा ना 365 और 30 में.
Yes, of course.
बताता हूँ. Bushra is a question, what is the full form of Sasta CM? I'll tell you. No? Okay. It's 8:30. आप लोगों को छुट्टी भी नहीं लेना है, घर भी नहीं जाना है. What is it? I mean, you all are at home only.
Yes, sir, we are at home.
So don't you want to close the class? What is this? You are enjoying so much.
I don't confront with this whole eligibility of bonus criteria.
You will bring revolution.
Sir, we both are like so oriented toward company's profit or the all.
It has nothing to do with company's profit or loss. It is only the act says छुट्टी में तुमने क्यों नहीं कहा 240 दिन काम करने के बाद ही छुट्टी मिलेगा? Why it is so? Paid leave you are entitled only after you work for 240 days. So every act has some basic purpose. Now here the purpose is that maximum people should get the benefit of this act. Therefore, the applicability or the coverage is less. है ना? पैसा तो जितना दिन काम किया उसके हिसाब से ही मिलेगा, लेकिन 30 दिन काम किया उसको क्यों बोनस मिलना चाहिए? अरे क्यों नहीं मिलना चाहिए? No, tell me, Anamika, tell me. You're still not, you're still not convinced.
So why would he get the bonus if he's working only for 30 days in one year?
I mean, क्या जा रहा है तुम्हारा? It is the act, as I said, the spirit of act is that maximum people should get the benefit. That is the spirit of the act. Now, I'll tell you, this amount 21,000, this 21,000 rupees, it was 10,000 rupees. Who is eligible for bonus? Person having salary of 10,000 rupees. उसको बढ़ा के 21,000 रुपए कर दिया. कितना कर दिया? 21,000 rupees. Why? Because more number of people can get this financial benefit. Now assume that this limit would also have been 240 days, for example, same as your paid leave. So people working on seasonal duties, people working on such establishment where you don't have round the year assignment. Sugar factory, 4 months, 5 months it works. Yes. Any field job, plowing or something, 3 months. Now,
Yes,
in
sir.
that case, these seasonal people will not get the bonus. If this number of days is more, if the number of days are more, the people under this seasonal job will not get the bonus, isn't it? Yeah? Agree, disagree? ध्यान में चली गई नमिता.
So, I mean, there's no such like days ka funda over here, na? So it is 1 second. sir.
I get it कि ये एक तरीके से welfare policy या act है, so that is why it's like that.
How welfare so company will have, I mean, will have to incur a loss. Why would company give a so why would company give a, I mean, इससे the company की productivity will decrease ना.
Basic purpose of this act, why the limit was set. अभी हम सेट ऑन सेट ऑफ का बात किया ना, तुम्हारे पास पैसा नहीं फिर भी तुमको 32,000 खीसे में से डाल के भी 19,000 देना पड़ेगा ना. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But the basic purpose of this act is to have maximum number of people get the benefit. Right? So if the number of days would be 180, 240, for eligibility, anyone working in seasonal business will not get the benefit. So perhaps that could be the reason of keeping it for 30 days. You will get for whatever number of days you have worked. There are other people knocking the door of our class.
Therefore, digital marketing, I guess.
Oh, okay. So let us call it a day. So before we conclude, quickly, I'll tell you 4 things that you must remember. We will have this discussion tomorrow. Number 1, the salary cap is 21,000 for applicability. Number 2, minimum working days is 30. Number 3, the calculation for bonus is 7,000 rupees. So you may earn 1 lakh rupee as a basic wage, but your 8.33 or 20% would be calculated on 7,000 rupees. कैसे क्या कल क्लास में देखेंगे.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है.
Okay, sir.
Right. I'll share this presentation maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll continue with this payment of bonus, and we will also look into payment of gratuity act.
Okay,
है ना? Interesting है, मजा आता है नहीं आता?
आता है sir.
Interesting.